Sorrento. I'm so excited. She's just getting some gas right now. But we're gonna take you along for the ride. I'm so excited. We have the whole back of the car is filled with knitting things and books and all the stuff that we need. I have a small bag for my clothes and a massive suitcase for my knitting supplies. I'm gonna show you guys too. Here we go.
Yeah. Let's do it.
Are you excited, Scylla?
So excited. We're finally on our way. It's actually been a pretty good start to the morning.
Yeah. Gentle, gentle.
Are
Just
you
leaving the gas station? Am I wet?
totally filled up, ready to go to Sorrento?
Mm-hmm.
Are you excited?
I'm super excited. See, this is my excited face.
Really? It matches my excited face. I look like a reach person when I do that. Like, my whole head's gonna flip up.
Like her. Oh.
Yeah, like with the flip top head.
So what class are you taking, Scylla?
I am taking the little things.
And what's it about?
It's about learning how to fix your mistakes and like little tricks and fun little learning things.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm super stoked. I'm looking forward to learning some things, but not taking a super intense course like Intro to Design or Advanced Design or anything related to design.
It's not advanced design. It's called Start with an Idea, the one I'm taking.
Start with an idea.
Mm-hmm.
See, I like that mine
And
didn't have
Shannon's
any
in
homework.
my class.
Shannon Fisher?
Yeah,
Wonderful.
yeah. So I'm pretty excited about that.
That is exciting.
Because I get to spend more time with her than you do, and I get to spend more time with her than I spend with you. So
You know what?
that's cool.
She was supposed to be in my class.
I know.
Can't believe she's
Whatever.
not in my class anymore. But I still have Vicky, right?
You still have Vicky? I think you still have Vicky.
I hope I still have Vicky.
I might take Vicky too.
No, I get one. It's okay. You know what? I'm sure there will be a lot of really wonderful.
There. It just keeps changing angles.
It's every time we hit. We've got the camera on the dash while we're driving, and so it's every time we hit a bumper or stop sign, it flips down.
Mm-hmm. It's good.
So good. It's gonna be so much fun. I get distracted by signs. I'm like, squirrel.
Yeah.
Actually, we already saw 3 marmots. I saw 3 marmots. They're evenly
I didn't
spaced
see
at the
them.
college, so I'm wondering if they were real.
I feel like they were.
They looked real.
They hang out there.
They do. Do they?
Yeah.
Cool.
They hang out all along the road there.
Nice.
I feel like I should have brought flip-flops.
I brought flip-flops.
Did you?
They were still in my car. Hopefully you didn't
I
take
have
them
a
out.
blister on the back of my heel, so I feel like flip-flops would have been
A good idea.
a good idea, yeah.
Yeah. I brought 4 pairs of shoes.
That's awesome.
Because everyone needs 4 pairs of shoes, right?
For sure, except
Yeah.
for me. I brought the ones I'm wearing and a pair of running shoes.
Nice.
I don't expect to be running a lot. Just saying. I expect to be knitting a lot.
Right? So out of running shoes and flip-flops. Good choice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm super excited. And you know what? The farther away from town we get, the more excited I get.
I know. I can feel like more relaxed too.
Yeah. Yeah, it's so funny because I have to get everything ready for the kids before I leave, and that's really stressful. So I get like totally wound up right before we leave, and then we leave, and it's just like And the farther away from home we get, the more relaxed I get. Yeah, that's so funny.
Yeah, it totally makes sense.
So we're going to be doing a recording with some other podcasters. So there's Glenda of Wet Coast Wools, and there is Shannon of Socksetra, and there is Carla from Knits, I think, and you and me, baby.
Nice. Did you bring the bundle that I was just thinking of like the list of everybody who's coming? Did you
Yeah.
bring the bundle I printed off for you?
Yeah.
Okay, good, because I forgot mine.
Yeah, I put it in the suitcase.
Okay, wonderful.
It's at the very bottom, so we have to dig through everything.
That's okay, you have it, so we'll be able to know like where my class is and look
Yeah.
at your map and
It's gonna be nice tonight though, because we don't have any classes tonight. We have classes tomorrow morning, so we're gonna get there in the afternoon, and it's gonna be knitting, like all knitting
Yeah,
and relaxing and being cool.
it is.
I feel like I need Gatorade. I feel like I need electrolytes.
Will Powerade do?
Sure, Powerade will be just fine.
I'm like, I have jerky
Oh my.
and I have dehydrated fruit that we're not allergic to.
Yeah.
Like
Really?
mangoes and young coconut, pineapple, and strawberries.
Okay, cool.
I have some yogurt in here. I brought some soft cookies.
Nice.
Just some juice boxes. And would you like red? So would you like, I believe it's fruit punch or melon pineapple?
Fruit punch, please.
Okay.
Scylla, you're gonna be in the Twitch and Stitch podcast again.
Yay! It's like, and starring
Been so
guest
long.
appearance.
Guest appearance.
Guest appearance with
Scylla!
Yeah, I may or may not have brought my thesis to work on while we're here.
You did?
I may or may not have.
You're not doing it. No. This is a relaxing knitting weekend. I'm putting my foot down.
It is, but I could have all day
No.
tomorrow.
I feel like there should be knitting going on tomorrow.
I feel like you might be right.
I think you should knit a sweater tomorrow.
I brought actually the Anna Green Gables stuff to start the Anna Green Gables sweater.
Awesome. Awesome,
Okay,
awesome.
I'm gonna throw my water down here. I don't know why I'm addicted to these. Like, who needs water bottles? We can just refill Powerade.
Well, just because they're plastic.
And that's what I like. Because if I lose one, I'm not losing my good water bottle, and I'm not very good at not losing my stuff.
That's good. Oh, did you set up the coffee maker?
No, but I cleaned it.
Well, that's a step.
And I was gonna set it up too, and then, well, I didn't.
Just forgot.
Just forgot.
My lips are super dry. That's why I was like, I need a drink of something because I need to hydrate. So we're gonna stop at a couple yarn stores on the way.
So exciting. That's it.
That's it.
I think we're planning on stopping in Armstrong. There's an
There's
a yarn store there.
yarn store there that we're gonna stop at, and there's a really cute one in Vernon we might stop at too.
Like that there. I'm actually gonna throw this in here.
And there's going to be a couple different people like that have yarn stores that are there.
Oh yeah. So you can do a
So-
little bit of
Yeah.
yarn purchasing if you didn't bring enough yarn.
Yeah. I feel like I did because I have a suitcase and 3 bags full of yarn.
Oh no, you probably did. I brought 2 balls for the Anna Green Gables sweater.
Yeah.
If I decide to work on that.
Yeah.
I brought the thing I'm actually working on.
Mm-hmm.
Brought another ball that I started knitting a scarf with, which I don't like, which I'm probably gonna rip out and do something else with.
Okay.
And I brought 2 more. I brought my Isis Fiber Arts yarn.
Yarn. I brought some too because I'm doing a first sweater knit along with the Patreons, and so I'm using her yarn for the knit along.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, and it is amazing to work with. Like, I will let you feel it later. It's a worsted, and she dyed it specially for me. It's a light blue. Did you see it?
Yes, it's so pretty.
So pretty, and it's like, it's super nice to work with. It's a super wash, so it's not a big deal if it goes into the washing machine. I'm not going to do that, but
Yeah, because you had a swatch on the table, right?
Yeah,
Yes.
I swatched already, and then so I'm going to record for the swatching, and then I'm going to do the cast on process and all of that.
Nice.
So it's going to be good. So yeah, it's amazing yarn. I brought it because even if I don't get to it, I have it because it's pretty and it's one of the things I'm working on. So,
and that's why I brought a couple of things of yarn too. I'm like, if I don't get to it, that's okay. It's pretty and I can look at it.
Yeah.
Granted, I was packing yarn at 2 o'clock in the morning.
Yeah.
So
there's some measurements I need for my course that I didn't take because, well, you're supposed to have somebody take all of your measurements. And I'm going to be taking Shannon's measurements for her today, I think. And so I'm going to either get you or her to help me take mine too.
Nice. So
that I have them properly, because I measured myself because I have a good idea of what my measurements are, but it's always off when you do it yourself. You really should have somebody else do it for you. So
well, I can do it for you.
And there's certain spots that you can't measure on yourself anyway, and you need to make sure that it doesn't droop down, and you need to make sure yeah. So like from here to here, this measurement you can't measure on your back, right?
Yeah.
And you have to have your shoulders up, back, and down. Well, you can't do that while you're like...
Because then you're like, I'm trying to
and then you can't tell if it's like looping down or tight against your back or what. So, yeah, so you should always have somebody else measure you. And we should do that because you're going to be casting on a sweater, so we should do your measurements too, just so you have them.
Yeah. Yeah, I think so too.
Because I think it's always a good thing to just have a notebook where you have measurements of people. Because I do have a notebook for like sock size and arm length, and like I've measured the rest of my family, so I have their measurements proper, but I don't have mine.
Nice.
And because it's a designing course that I'm going into, I need to be specific because an inch can make a massive difference.
Yeah.
So. Or half an inch, or a quarter of an inch, because a quarter of an inch difference over a 4-inch swatch, right?
Yeah.
That's going to be inches of difference
when
you're looking
huge.
at an entire garment. So I need to make sure that my measurements are taken properly so that when I'm calculating the swatch, it's good. Isn't it cute?
So cute.
Find anything you like?
Kind of. I think I could knit a sweater in this.
All of this.
But I like the brown, and I like this color, and I really like this color. But I think that I like the green, and the green could go really nice with that green would. Those two greens could go together.
Those two greens, that was a red and a green.
But like that could go.
Yeah.
I don't know. I think I need to think about it because we have to come back through here on our way back, right?
Yeah, but it's on Sunday.
Are they closed on Sunday?
Yeah.
Oh. Huh.
The pressure's on.
Right? But I wouldn't even begin to know what I'd need for a sweater.
We can look at a pattern.
But, like, because I would probably do the Ann sweater in this stuff. It's a little less scary than the other stuff. I'm still not ready to commit. It's a little... I And I could do it in green because then it'd be the Anne sweater.
Yep.
Which
Totally
one?
would be.
This green or this green?
Make a decision.
I can't. They're all so pretty.
That's the knitter's dilemma.
Right? It would probably be this green for me.
Yeah.
I think. No?
No, not with your coloring.
No,
No.
either.
I don't really see you as a green person.
So it seems.
Not that shade of red.
It's a little too orange.
Yeah. That's better.
Yeah, I probably would wear it.
You'd look better in like the crimson color over here. Like that color.
The red? Yeah, I like that color, but that's
That's okay. That's good.
it's my go-to though.
But you love it, so you'd love a sweater made out of
I
it.
do. This one?
Yeah. Come in, and then I will check my voice messages because I missed a call. Yeah, there's goats. Go this way.
Oh, there's the cracks in the way. Okay.
Somebody's got my name tag.
Yeah, someone's taken
obviously.
your name tag by mistake.
Well, I don't even have one. And then it's
Shannon!
Cleared out the other end. No, I'm right here. Hello. Sorry. It's okay.
Shannon?
I'm Carla, I'm Knit Mix.
I'm Glenda from Wet Coast Wools.
I'm Marsha, I'm Fairy Little from Twitch and Stitch.
I'm Shannon from Socksetra.
I'm Priscilla, otherwise known as Scylla. Hi, Bernadette.
Hi, Bernadette!
I cut you off, I'm sorry.
1, 2, 3, hi, Bernadette.
Hi, Bernadette! And let's say hi to Vicky.
Hi, Vicky!
Something just dropped on my
Oh,
head.
and,
I hope
and
it's not you.
Joanna. Joanna?
Hi, Joanna!
Hi, Joanna! Anyway, we've been here at this amazing retreat all weekend, and I've had an amazing time.
Yeah, it's been pretty good. What did you guys think of your courses?
Ours was
Classes.
fabulous.
It was. It was all about learning to fix your mistakes, which I make many of.
Carla and I were in the same course, and so we fixed a lot of mistakes. Learned the Kitchener stitch.
Yeah.
That was fun.
Mm-hmm.
It's gonna be a lot less beginner questions with Scylla.
And by that she means all of the beginner questions. She's got all
Because
the
I didn't know
answers
these
now.
things existed. Now, mind blown.
Yeah.
And the three of us were in a class together called Start With an Idea.
Yeah, designing class, and it was a lot of fun.
I was completely in over my head.
Oh no, you totally learned stuff.
I learned so much. I
Just
really
Wait,
did.
next year you'll have a sweater. I can see it.
Yeah.
Did you actually cry?
Close a couple times.
I almost cried today.
Really?
I spilled
Really?
coffee all over
Oh.
Shannon's stuff.
Oh, oh dear.
It happens. I feel like the thing that I'm learning the most is to just relax. Honestly, is just to relax. Like one of the things that Paulette said to us was, "There's no knitting police. Like if
Yeah.
you do it wrong, whatever, figure it out."
Yeah, just take it
Design
out.
feature.
Yeah,
if you
exactly.
don't like it enough,
Yeah.
just take it out. But if you can live with it, it's a design feature. Maybe do it on this other side so it looks like
Yeah,
you
exactly.
meant
That's
to do it.
awesome.
Yeah.
We got a lot of a pattern is just a guideline.
Did you find your bliss this weekend?
I found my bliss.
Oh.
Yeah.
I'm right here.
Her name's Shannon.
Blissful.
I sat across the table from her so I could stare at her the whole time.
The thing I love the most is that I've met you guys like on camera, and
Yeah.
I actually the first day I came, I went right up to Shannon and I said, "Hi, Shannon," because I
Yeah.
met her.
Yeah, and you feel like you already know each other.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hey,
Well,
yeah.
you do,
Yeah.
but there's also like this extra layer. Like I feel like I'm pretty much like I am on camera, but
Yeah.
I felt like that all about all of you. But then meeting you, I'm like, oh my gosh, I love you even more.
No,
Yeah.
I'm not like
It's
I
so
am
mutual.
on camera.
Yeah.
I'm so
Yeah, you're a little bit different.
because I'm nervous on camera. And
Yeah.
I'm new at this.
But
So.
yes.
Yeah.
But yes.
Whereas I think I'm a bit of a letdown because I'm so. And then in person, I'm a little bit more chill.
No, you're
Not even.
not
No,
It's
it's
been
not a letdown at all.
delightful.
Yeah.
They're
But-
such liars.
But also, the editing is amazing because you can like you can be like switched on, and then you can be like, look through my nose.
Yeah.
Then you're like, and I'm back.
There's a few parts of the weekend I'd like to edit out.
My buttons, I would like to.
I love your button.
Her buttons are adorable.
Uh-oh.
Sounds a little graphic.
Anyway, that was great. Yeah, I had a great weekend. The food was fab. I stayed in the campsite. The company was great. I'm the only one who brought my husband, but that's okay. He went cycling, so that's fine.
And
I
your
think-
dog.
Oh, and my crazy dog, yeah.
Yeah.
The one that scared Shannon. Sorry, Shannon.
Totally
And
fine.
Syl and I were in a room next to Shannon and Vicky, and we like tapped messages to each other
Through the walls.
I think one of my favorite parts of the week was going to bed and getting a message from Marsha as I was going to bed, a love message, and then waking up to a love message.
How come I didn't get one? I didn't get one either.
That's so funny. What was your favorite, Glenda?
I like being in design courses and Paula just knows so much information, and you just can ask her a question and she goes on for like 10 minutes about it, and you learn so much from that one question. It's fantastic.
Yeah.
And yeah. And I figured out how to make my yarn not biased, so it can actually be made into a sweater.
That's awesome.
And I learned what bias is.
What's
a bias?
Absolutely no idea. No, I do.
Bias is the way it leans, right? Beginner question,
Bias is on
Priscilla.
an angle, isn't it? The diagonal? bias?
It's a natural lean to the texture of the fabric, which if your yarn is spun a particular way, you don't want it to bias. You want to knit a rectangle that stays a rectangle.
Okay.
But a bias in yarn will make it a parallelogram, which is usually a bad
So I
thing.
didn't know what bias is.
I didn't.
Now I do.
I didn't know
Yeah.
either.
I think there's, like in sewing, there's ways to take a fabric and use its bias to advantage.
Yeah.
In knitting, I think it's usually just don't want bias, period.
Yeah,
Yeah.
because most patterns aren't knit for bias. They're knit for
Although I wonder,
balanced yarn.
I didn't ask her if, when you knit on the bias on purpose, if you took a biased yarn and knit on the bias where you decrease on one side, increase on the other,
You
would
cancel
that,
out the bias.
or would it just make it super
or would
You'd
it
have to do
embrace
the math
it?
on that to
Yeah.
find out how many stitches per inch it's
Yeah.
moving over,
Yeah.
kind of thing,
I mean,
to
it
work
wouldn't-
out.
and you wouldn't want to do a sweater with it, but a really cool shawl or something could use that to huge
Yeah.
advantage.
Yeah, because you could embrace the bias.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah, totally.
Cool.
What was your favorite part, Carla?
Just meeting everybody and just hanging out with like-minded people. It was
Yeah.
really great to just sit and look around and see everybody like actively knitting and talking
Yeah.
about their projects and learning about their lives. It was lots of fun. Lots of fellowship for sure.
Yeah.
So, what was your favorite?
That was probably close to my favorite too. Like I loved learning the little things that I didn't know, but there was so much knowledge. There was 63 people here plus 4 instructors,
Yeah.
and in
So
the
there's like
evenings-
3,000 years of knitting experience.
and there's been people who've been here since the very first one 18 years ago.
Yeah.
And so, just sitting and knitting with everybody
All
at
ages.
all different ages, all different levels.
Yeah.
There was no divide. Like
Yeah.
it was all, and everybody was sharing their knowledge and their lives and their sarcasm and their silliness, and it was really, really wonderful. I think there was a group of us last night that were up until 12:30ish.
Was
and
I part of that, or did you party after?
No,
went to
you were
bed?
part of that. You went to
Okay,
bed
good.
late. And we were just up and we were talking and we were laughing, and I
Yeah.
don't remember the last time I had this much
so
fun on a
hard.
weekend.
My
Yeah.
stomach
Vicky was crying. She was laughing so
Yeah.
hard. Poor girl.
I
I
was
was just like
too.
weeping in the corner. It was
Yeah,
so
just
good.
like bawling.
And are you
So
coming back
funny.
next year?
Yeah,
You
I
think-
think so.
I think
Yeah.
so.
Yeah,
so.
I want to knit a sweater for my iPad when I learn to
Yes.
steek, do the bottom of the Kitchener stitch, and Fair Isle.
Oh,
Like
boy.
everything about that is magical
Yeah.
to me.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a good
Yeah.
learning project
Yeah.
for sure.
I did love Scylla's messages, but I do have two other favorite parts. Was just realizing that, like, because I was in what I felt like was a pretty high level course, and I started to feel overwhelmed a few times. But I thought, like, this is accessible to me as long as I keep an open mind and keep learning and keep trying things. And it's because I started to catch myself shut down a few times and think, well, I'm never going to be this kind of knitter, and I'm never going to reach that level. And I thought, well, that's silly. Like, these people all started out with the same amount of knowledge that I have, and so
Absolutely.
it's
Yeah.
totally accessible to me. So just sort of reminding myself of that, I feel like
Yeah.
that's a daily thing I have to do.
Mm-hmm.
But then also just the community, like finding, like I feel like you're my friends, and while we were friends before we got here, I feel like I know you all better and on a different level, and just community is such a nice thing to have. And one woman shared something about having a hard year, and she just said, keep your girlfriends close. And I just thought, your friends are so important. And,
Yeah,
and when I'm with people, which I'm often not because I'm a bit of a hermit, it's such a good reminder for my heart to stay connected to people.
Yeah, and this is our tribe.
Yeah, I was gonna say
Yeah.
that. Like, it feels
These
like we
are,
found our
you
clan.
know,
Yeah.
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 Yeah. You know what? I was amazed. I come from Alberta, and I traveled, the way we drove, 6 hours.
And we're so glad you did. We prefer you to
6
make it in
hours, and I
7,
thought
but-
you guys were. This was close to everybody here. It's close to some of you, but
Yeah.
the people coming from Vancouver have a really long drive as well.
Yeah.
And so like my knitting community just got bigger.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It really actually blew me away that Nelson is so far away from here because it's still in BC, but it's 7-hour drive.
It's just the roads are
Yeah.
just to get there. It's
all
not
the
as
mountains you gotta go
accessible.
around.
Yeah.
Yeah, makes it harder.
So
Well, ladies, I've had a wonderful time, and I gotta get on the road back to Calgary. I've really enjoyed myself, and thanks for sharing yourselves with me. And I look forward to meeting you again soon.
Yeah, it's been wonderful. Are you going to come back next year?
Well, I think so. I mean, life changes, but yes, I plan to. I would love to. Yeah.
Wonderful.
And we're gonna bring some of you.
Yes, we are.
Meet us and join
All
us.
of you.
all of you.
Nikki, we'll see you back here.
Bye, everybody.
Bye. Until next time.
There we go.
There we are.
So we were just talking about how everyone was so quick to laughter and just ready to enjoy themselves.
It was such a
This weekend.
positive atmosphere.
Yeah, it was. It really was.
Yeah.
We had such a good time.
And we got to meet up with like people who'd been coming for 18 years and just sharing their knowledge and their excitement and their energy and
Yeah.
yeah.
And it wasn't cliquey at all.
No, it was wonderful. It was so welcoming.
Yeah.
Every time you walk into a room, people are like, "Hey, Priscilla," because they see my name tag has my
They
full
said
name.
the same thing to me too. They're like, "Hey, Priscilla."
But yeah, it was so much fun. I think we're coming down a bit off our adrenaline, but it was such a wonderful weekend.
Yeah.
I've already, at the end of the weekend too, they had us vote on what classes we want next year.
Mhm.
And I plan on going next year, and I voted on making a
Color
what was the
work?
class? It was a color work. It was a Fair Isle sweater with a sewed-in bottom for your iPad, and so it includes like steeking and buttonholes, and you know it's gonna be magical
Fair Isle.
and awesome. And Fair Isle,
And doing
Yeah.
a collar.
and oh yeah,
picking up
yeah, it's a
stitches.
collar, picking up stitches and short rows.
Yeah.
And it's like it incorporates everything you need to know, and you're gonna make a sweater for your iPad. So I'm super stoked about that one. I think it's gonna go through. I think it's gonna. Also, the instructor who's taught it in the past wants to teach it, and so that's really helpful getting a course through.
Yeah. 'Cause
Yeah.
That's a fun one to do.
Yes, Marsha, what was your favorite part?
I don't know. I loved all of it. I just find it just rejuvenates me, and I loved how challenged I was in the class I took. There was a lot of math. There was a lot of, I got to find out a lot of the why we do things the way we do, and that to me was like, that was good stuff. And the more technical Paulette would get, the happier I was getting. Like I was just like, I couldn't believe it. She'd start talking about the math, and I would just be like, this is my jam. I have found my joy. Found my bliss. Yeah, it was so cool because we designed our own sweaters and we did the math, and I started the ribbing along the bottom, and that math worked out perfectly. Then I started my knitting round, and there's decreases, and that worked out perfectly. And then I added in my stitch markers so I could mark my sides. Worked out perfectly. I'm so happy. And now I understand why we need a schematic in a pattern, why that's important, why some patterns call for you to cast off the next stitches, and that's for extra support. So
I learned that too.
So you know that top that I made from Japan?
Yeah.
I can fix it now.
Really?
Mhm.
Oh, that's exciting.
Yeah, I'm super excited because I'm going to be fixing that when we get home without having to cut it.
Oh, that's awesome.
Like it's going to be wonderful. It's going to be great.
That is great. I learned to cut my knitting, not to steek, but I learned how to cut.
Yeah.
Like after you've cast off, to cut off it and make your stitches live again. I didn't know how to do that. I always thought once you've cast off, that's it, you're done. That's all you can do.
Really?
Unless you pick up. Yeah. I didn't know that you could just make your stitches live again.
and just undo your knot and just pick them up again and do them again?
No, that's because that's picking up. But literally, like, you cut one leg of one stitch.
Yeah.
You throw a lifeline in before you do this, obviously.
Yeah.
But yeah, you cut them like one leg of one stitch.
Yeah.
And so if you want to make something longer that turns out to be too short, you want to make something shorter that's a little bit too long, and then you just like you rip it out around to where it is, and you can just follow it down, and then all the stitches on both sides become live, but totally becomes live. It's fantastic.
Yeah, that's how you can pick up for a true afterthought heel, is doing that.
Oh.
So you can just knit from the toe up or the top down, and you just knit a big long tube for as long as you want, and then you just cut the one leg of a stitch, and you can put your needle and you pick up the right leg of each stitch on the top and bottom. Cut one leg and just pick that out and start knitting.
Oh, that makes perfect sense. Yeah. I know.
So you can actually make stitches live in super random places, and that's actually how you can fix a hole in your knitting too.
Because you make the stitches live and then you just re-knit.
You just pick up those stitches. Usually there's ones that are like frayed or whatever.
Yeah.
You pick up the stitches that are still in good shape. Maybe it's a row or two below and a row or two above.
Yeah.
And then you can pick those stitches up and you can knit them and attach them at the sides of whatever, like, so say it's a sock, a heel of a sock. So you pick up above the heel and below the heel where the hole is. And as you go, you knit across and you attach it to the edge stitch. And then you go across and you attach it to the edge stitch. And you keep going back and forth. And you're putting in a patch, but it just fits.
Oh, that's really cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, I learned so much to begin. Like, things I didn't even know I didn't know.
I know. I know. Things you didn't know you didn't know.
I had no idea I didn't know until I knew.
That's right. Yeah, you learned the Kitchener. How was that for you?
It was good. It wasn't as hard and as scary as I thought it was going to be.
Yeah.
I know it's a little more complicated when you're using garter stitch. I learned the names of the stitches too. I had no idea what garter stitch was or stockinette.
Yeah.
And so we're in our class, and I know the stitches, I know how to use them, but so we're in our class, and I have my...
You just didn't know that's what they're called.
I didn't know their names, right?
Hold it for a second. We're about to hit the gas pedal.
And then we fall over face first.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay, and so I had no idea that that's what they were called, and so I'm like sitting in our class, and our instructor, because we were doing a course on the little things, so how to fix your mistakes, and like little tricks and things that you should know to make everything easier, and so patterns make sense, so you know why you're doing something. It was amazing class, and it was more on the beginner side than, you know, design.
Yeah.
But it was wonderful, and the whole what was I talking about?
Kitchener stitch.
Kitchener stitch. And so, you know, I was talking about not knowing the names of the stitches.
Oh,
that's
yes,
what it was.
that's where you
From
were.
Kitchener stitch.
I'm like, I forgot to.
I can tell.
I don't know what you're talking about.
And so she asked us she's like, okay, knit 3 rows of garter stitch and 2 rows of stockinette.
Yeah.
And then we'll start. And she taught us a bunch of cast on. She's like, use whichever cast on you want and you feel most comfortable with.
Yeah.
So I used the long tail cast on because I love it. And then...
Okay. Pause for just a second.
Okay.
Do you know how I remember what's garter and what's stockinette?
Stockinette looks like socks.
So I think of a can-can dancer. And
And
you
their
wear
garters
stockings and a garter.
And the garters are always ruffled, and that's hilarious.
That's totally how I remember it, and I'm like, can-can dancers.
I'm totally gonna use that.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
It's a good memory thing.
Yeah, it totally helps. I just
Sorry, go
I
ahead.
think about your socks, your 35 pairs,
Yeah.
and I think of like the stitch that you do mostly. I'm like, oh, stockinette, that's her sock stitch.
But it's called stockinette,
Not stockinette?
not sockinette.
That's okay. I remember it as stockinette, so it's be like stockinette. I still know stockinette, so I got this.
You got it.
But so I'm in class and I write down on my iPad what we're supposed to do, and then I Google what the stitches are and what you do. Because I'd already asked the people on either side of me what they were, and then I asked them one right after the other. I'm like, well, what's the garter stitch? Okay, well, now it's the stockinette stitch. And I'm like, okay, now I don't remember either of them, and I'm not sure which is which. I know I have to do these 2 stitches, and I didn't want to get behind in my cast on. So I'm sitting there on my phone, and I'm like Googling stockinette.
Stockinette. Did it come up under stockinette?
It corrected it to stockinette. And
That's so funny.
But it was so much fun because I learned like decreases.
Yeah.
So we learned like leaning left decreases, leaning right decreases, and center decreases.
Yeah.
And we also learned their, I like to think of it as their sibling.
Yeah.
Which, did I say increases or decreases?
Yeah.
I don't know. But each increase has a matching decrease.
Yeah.
And so we learned their sibling decrease.
That's cool.
Yeah. I think of them as all in the same family. And then they're all like 3 sets of twins.
You know what I really love?
What?
That you're finally as excited about knitting as I am.
You can actually hear the excitement in my voice, eh? Like, it was so much fun, and I learned so much
information. Yeah.
So much information.
The
And
classes are so packed.
And even beyond the classes, though, like, everybody there, it's like, you have a question, people are there to help you, and there's no anything about anything, right?
Yeah.
Like, it was absolutely wonderful.
Yeah, and everyone's just happy that you're knitting too.
Yeah, and it totally normalized knitting in public in random places. Like, you know, you sit down and eat dinner, and you knit.
Yeah.
You go upstairs, you have hanging out with people, and you knit.
Everyone's knitting, yeah.
You go outside, go for a walk, and you're knitting.
That's right.
Like, it was just all knitting all the time.
Yeah.
And it was wonderful. I already miss knitting. Like, I'm not a car knitter, and I have my knitting actually sitting on my lap. I will show you, but we're going through a
Set of lights.
set of lights, and when we go through a set of lights, I have to hold the phone, or else it falls down.
So good. It was awesome meeting Shannon and Glenda and Carla and
Vicky.
yeah, and like tons of people. But like the other podcasters, it was just awesome to hang out with them because
It was kind of surreal to me. Like,
and one thing you don't know is like, because every podcaster puts themselves out there,
Yeah.
right? And then, but you're like, how much of that is who they are, and like, is their front or whatever? And for the most part, it is them,
yeah.
right? And it was so awesome hanging out with these ladies because they are who they are, and it's beautiful.
It is beautiful. And it was so, like, I mentioned surreal hanging out with them, but because we're all very different,
Yeah.
but we're all very much the same.
Yeah.
And so, you know, just like the way we talk, the way we interact, it felt very, very comfortable.
Yeah, very comfortable,
Yeah.
very natural.
It was like starting on the 13th date.
Totally.
Yeah. It was like we'd known each other for years.
But even people who have never met us, they came up to us and started talking to us like we've been old friends, you know, and that, I love that. And part of that
I love that
is
too.
the culture of this retreat
Yeah.
in particular because
everybody coming to it is old friends, and when you're a new friend, that's exactly what you are. As a new person, you're a new friend.
that's right. So, and it doesn't matter like if, like, it was so funny because somebody brought up that we were podcasters, and they're like, oh, what's your podcast? And they're Googling it and stuff. And then 2 ladies walked in and they're like, hi, Marcia and Scylla. And they're like, wow, people do know you.
And it was awesome because they introduced themselves by their Instagram name.
and Ravelry names. Yeah.
Oh.
That was so cute. Yeah, we had such an amazing time, and I learned so much, and I'm still processing.
Yeah.
It's so much information and so many things to add to my toolbox. Like, I'm really excited about the things I learned, the design elements I learned about, the construction elements that I learned about, all of those things, like, and the math to get there. Like, I'm not a big math person, but when that stuff works, it just makes my heart so happy.
And one thing I noticed too is, because you know sometimes when you take a course, you take a class, there's people who are there for whatever reasons, right? Sometimes people have to be there, or they have to take, like, say, a first aid course.
Yeah.
Right? There's people who are required to take first aid for their work or whatever.
Yeah.
But everybody who was there genuinely wanted to be there, was excited to be there, and had
Yeah.
been like looking forward to being there for months because it sold out.
And you could feel that in the energy there.
You could
Like,
totally feel that in the energy.
It was just such a light-hearted, welcoming atmosphere.
yeah,
it was-
it was genuine. It felt genuine.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Did it feel genuine?
it felt genuine.
Yeah.
I think it felt genuine.
I think so.
But no, people were genuine. They were their genuine selves, and
Yeah.
it was awesome. And there was acceptance, and
Yeah. And you could just go into any room and sit down at any spot and it didn't feel awkward or weird because you just have this, you have something in common right off the bat. Like everybody there's a knitter. So
you're not searching for what
the first thing that you say is, "Hi, my name is,"
are you working on?
"What are you working on?" Right? Like, "What's your name?" and "What are you working on?"
Yeah, and what's your yarn?
Yeah.
And I found too, it was all like positive affirmations because everybody's working
Yeah.
on something beautiful,
Yeah.
and everybody's working on something artistic.
That's right.
And so, you know, it was never like everyone's like, "Ooh, I love that," and there was usually like bigger groups too, and so you were always able to find things to ooh and ah at, and everybody was oohing and ahhing different things, and you know, people were like, "I love that yarn," or "I love your stitch," or "What are you doing there?" or "How did you do that?"
Yeah.
And people are like, "Oh, I just did this," and then you're
Let me
like,
show
"That's
you."
magic."
Yeah. Yeah. There's a lot of magic going on.
It's a lot of magic.
It was all the knitting was all the magicalness. Yeah, it was so, yeah.
Yeah.
I'm still, like, my brain is still processing.
Still reeling from it, hey?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm just super excited because that top that I made in Japan,
You can fix it.
I can fix it. Like, I lamented about that for a while, and because I really like it. I like the colors in it. I like that it's different. I don't like that the neck is so big.
Yeah. But
Do you want to know how to fix that?
Sure. Do you get to cut something?
No, there's no cutting involved at all. You grab a crochet hook
Yeah.
and you do a crocheted line on the inside of the neckline from there to there
Yeah.
in the back of the neck. Like, it doesn't have to, well, on that one it'll be from here to there, but it gives
Yeah.
it structure and it brings it in.
Ah, that's
So
fantastic.
the pattern says for you to cast off the back of the neck stitches. I'm like, that seems silly, and I will always put them on like spare needles or yarn to hold so that
Yeah.
I can just pick it up easier. The reason that you need to cast off those stitches is for the structure, because then it'll keep your shoulders where your shoulders are supposed to be. It will keep the back where the back is supposed to be, and it won't droop forward or backward, and your sleeves won't end up down here.
That's
Like-
fascinating. Like, and it's the little things.
I didn't know that. Like,
Right?
mind blown. Because I'm like, oh, who needs to cast those off? I do. That's who needs to cast those off. Me. And now I know why. I wanted to find out all the whys, and I got a lot of whys, and so I'm super happy with that because
That's so awesome.
so much information.
Yeah, because the whys are so important. Like,
Yeah.
when you actually understand why you do something.
Yeah.
One thing I learned, which I had no idea, I didn't even know people did it, let alone why they did it. But the whole idea of slipping the first stitch,
Yep.
I didn't even know that was a thing.
I know.
And, you know,
But why
it's-
would you do that?
why would you do it, right? And then I learned today, like, some people do it, some people don't. Some people like it, some people don't.
Yeah.
You know, if a pattern calls for it, there's probably a reason, but you don't necessarily have to follow the pattern. I was like, what do you mean you don't follow the pattern? I'm like, I know I don't
Yeah.
follow the pattern, but the first time I do. First time I make something.
We learned how to take any pattern and knit it in whatever yarn we want at whatever gauge is comfortable for us.
Really? Oh my goodness.
I can take any pattern and be like, you know, I kind of want that in sock weight instead of worsted or whatever, and I'm gonna knit it on these. Okay, knit a swatch. Swatching's important. I learned that too. And then you can take your swatch after you blocked it and check out your gauge, and you can find out what the gauge is of that one, and you can apply it to it, and then it tells you how many times to, how many stitches to add. It's Brilliant.
That's really cool.
Brilliant.
We learned that you take your swatch after that when you're trying to when you're thinking
You
about
take your swatch after what?
after you've done all that with your swatch.
Yeah.
And you're getting ready to do your button band or any sort of playing.
Yep.
You'll play on your swatch first.
Yeah.
Your swatch is like, it's your toy.
Yeah.
It's your practice toy.
Yeah, see how it goes.
Yeah. And then we were also taught to throw your swatch in the washer and or the dryer. When you're done kneading it for those things.
Yeah.
So you know how your garment, whatever you've knit,
Mhm.
is going to respond to being washed.
Yeah.
And so, because you might want to know if it's going to shrink or if it's going to grow or if it's going to stretch.
Well, you'll know
From blocking. Some of it from blocking.
Some of that you'll know because you've already washed your swatch.
Yeah.
So you wash your swatch, but you don't throw it in the washing machine or the dryer to wash it. And
Yeah.
I would say I agree partially with that.
Yeah. Well, it was
I
that.
wouldn't stick it in a washing machine or a dryer unless it was a super wash, and then that's going to tell you a different story.
Yeah,
Because
and-
some people are going to throw their garments in the
Yeah,
washing machine and dryer.
and if you feel that you might not be gentle with it, that's where the conversation was
Yeah,
going. Yeah.
but if you take an alpaca swatch and you throw it in the washing machine and the dryer, it's going to turn into a little felted thing. You don't need to do that to know that that's what's going to happen.
Yeah. But I mean, like, if
But
if you are wanting to felt something,
Yeah,
right, to know how that's going to respond and what the felting's going to look like
Yeah.
in that, right?
yeah, totally.
Just gives you another way to test your yarn,
Yeah,
which I thought was really cool. Because I never even thought about it. I'm like, okay, I know that's going to happen, so I'm not going to do it.
yeah.
I'm like, but what if I do it? Like, what exactly will happen so you can see it?
Mhm.
Although I've thrown some stuff I shouldn't have in the dryer.
Yeah,
Or in the... I think no, it was in the dryer too.
yeah,
Yeah. Yeah.
yeah. When we were
Yeah.
younger, Scylla did laundry for me, and she threw all my clothes in the washing machine and the dryer.
I didn't know.
Shrunk everything.
Yeah, I had no idea.
She also tried to help wash one of the girls' bakery bears. Two of the girls' bakery bears.
Yep. But
You should have gotten the directions from me rather than a child.
yeah. Yes, I should have. That I did not do.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's pretty windy here.
Yeah, it's super windy. There's like pieces of tree all over the road. Oh, Kelowna.
Oh, Kelowna.
Yeah, it's really windy.
Yeah.
Feels like it wants to storm. At least that ended well.
Like the whole weekend?
With the teddy bear.
Oh, yeah.
The bakery bear, it ended well.
It ended very
the
well.
bakery bear was saved.
Yeah.
A little worse for wear, but it was saved.
I stretched it out. And it didn't actually make it to the dryer, it just made it through the washer.
Yeah.
So it didn't hit the dryer. It just hit the washer on warm.
Yeah.
Or hot.
Mr. Bakery Bear. Or hot.
Or hot. Poor Mr. Bakery Bear.
Yeah. I think his clothes shrunk the most.
I think so too.
Yeah. And I didn't block them, so I didn't know they bled. Because I don't know if you have to block toys' clothing.
Good question.
Who knows these things?
You didn't have an entire outfit.
I know. In cashmerino. Whose teddy bear wears cashmerino?
Right? And who, excuse me, and who would think a teddy bear doesn't go in the washer?
That is true. I would think if it was hand knit, it probably wouldn't, but that's just me.
Yeah, but I was still new. Now I wouldn't do it.
Yeah.
Now
Because you took it's the little things. So now you know.
the little things say don't do that.
Yeah.
Yeah, the little things say be kind to your knits, and this is why you do it, and this is what you can do.
Yeah.
It was like mind blowing. It made things not scary.
Mm-hmm.
Like to the point where I bought this, and this is the next thing I'm really excited to do. I want to do Fair Isle knitting.
Yay.
Right? Fair Isle. And not even just a little bit. I want to do all the Fair Isle.
All of it.
All the
of
Fair
it.
Isle all the time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That'd be so good.
So good. All the Fair Isle.
I have so many sweater ideas now. I'm
I
like, I
bet.
want to swatch this, and I want to make my pattern for this, and
So funny. I'm not scared of anything anymore.
No.
Like, I was nervous when I first learned to cable, and it was easy. And then I'm just nervous about learning new things, but I'm not anymore.
Yeah.
Like, I think that I've outgrown my skill level. So I need
What?
to...
You're in a new skill level?
Yes. So the skill level I thought I was at, I've outgrown. And
Yeah.
so everything I'm doing now isn't challenging me. Like, nothing I'm doing is
So
challenging.
here's my question. Do you get to the top end of a skill level, or are you always at the bottom end of the next skill level?
There's probably overlap. I think it's a sliding scale.
No, but like just the perspective of that. Like if there's no cap of a skill level, are you always at the bottom striving for the top of that level? What does that look like? Oh, so I was speaking with one of the instructors. Wow, the lake is really...
I know, it's really rough.
Really rough. I was speaking with one of the instructors, and she taught me how to do lace a couple years ago, and I told her that she changed my life, and she's like, I don't know if that was a good thing. Like, it's a little scary thing, right? And somebody else was there, and they're like talking about Stephen West and how much they love Stephen West's style and how it's like off the charts. And I was like, yeah, next time I come, I'm gonna wear all of the knitted things. And she's like, you could be the female Stephen West. I was like,
That's so funny. You could, but didn't somebody else say that, like, this instructor created a monster?
Yeah.
I don't know if that's a good thing. I think it created a monster. Was it her?
Yeah. Yep. I'm like, it's so good.
So funny.
I love it.
All of the knits, all of the time.
Yeah.
Yeah, and who really doesn't just want to have knits in their lap while they're driving?
Exactly.
Just because, really? Is it just because?
Just because.
Just because. But also because
So
it's
what are you working on,
pretty.
Zilla?
I am working on the basic cable scarf. I bet that's not new for you.
Yay!
And this is what it looks like. It's pretty basic. It's pretty cabled.
You were working on the last episode you were on.
I was working on the last episode I was working on. I am also, you missed it, and I don't have them up here with me, but I cast on my very first pair of socks. And so I'm super stoked about those.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Me too. And you bought sock yarn.
I bought sock yarn. I bought more sock yarn. Sorry, there was a hitchhiker dressed like a clown. It confused me.
It confused me.
I probably bought more sock yarn.
Sark yarn?
Sark yarn. More sock yarn that I'm gonna need to be able to use in a very long time. Because socks are hard work. They are a lot of stitches and low reward. Like, cables are instant gratification.
Yeah.
You do it and then you're like, oh, the heavens open up and they're singing. Whereas socks, you're like, I've spent 15 hours. My cuff is this big.
That's not what my cuff is when I'm knit for
15 hours.
15
Marcia's like, I spent 15 hours. Here's 3 pairs.
No.
No, it's 2 pairs.
Be 2 pairs.
2 pairs. Yeah.
Yeah.
2 pairs. Yeah.
I loved how it was knitting like all the time in class and then after class and
Yeah.
then before classes.
And when people are talking, it was okay to knit. Like, it didn't feel was, you know, sometimes when you're out with people and you sit there and you're knitting and sometimes they're like, what are you doing? You're like, I'm knitting. And they're like, well, why are you knitting? I was like, because I want to knit.
Because you're on your phone.
At least at the end of the day, I have something pretty. Oh.
So funny.
They're like, I'm at the next level of Candy Crush. Like Candy Crush sometimes when Marcia's knitting. But I don't think that's going to happen anymore.
No.
Because I want to knit all of the things, and I can't knit all the things if I'm not knitting.
That's true. Yeah, that is necessary. You need to actually knit to be able to knit all the things.
All the things, yeah.
Yeah, you need to get some quality time in there.
Yeah. I realized something on this this weekend away too. And I knew it before, is like you and I have very different tastes
Mm-hmm.
when it comes to what we want to do and what we knit.
Yep.
And
Which is cool.
it's so cool because, you know, I'm going to go into the fair aisles and, you know, cabling, and you're going to knit really pretty, awesome, gorgeous lace and sweaters.
Yeah.
And I'm going to knit some cable socks at
Also
some
Fair
point.
Isle. Oh, so you know.
Yeah.
So Katie from Inside Number 23 and I are doing a knit along in the fall. And it is color work.
I'm so in.
Yeah.
I'm going to pick a beautiful pattern.
Yeah.
It might even be double knit. Like, look at that.
No. You can't. No.
I can't.
You can knit double knit, absolutely, but this is gonna be sweaters.
Oh, yeah. I'm not doing a double knit sweater.
That's what I'm like.
Yeah, that's a no.
That's a no.
Thanks for the heads up.
Yeah. So the lady who puts on the event, her name's Janet, and she did a double knitted lace
shawl.
like stole.
Stole. Is that what that's called?
It's a stole. And it's double knitted and it's lace. So each of the lace details is double knitted and
Oh my! It
gorgeous,
was
gorgeous.
gorgeous. It was purple on one side
And green on the other.
and green on the other.
Yeah,
But
it was amazing.
But it wasn't just like one side was purple, one side was green.
Yeah.
The green side had purple accents.
Yep.
And had purple like features to it. Like
Yeah.
it was phenomenal.
Yeah.
And so even when she held it up the purple side first, because at Sorrento we do a show and tell where everybody gets in a giant room, all 64 of us, and shows what we've made. It's delightful. It's like finished objects
Yeah.
in the round. It's wonderful in the round because we're all in the round. Get it? Sitting in a circle. So anyway, she holds up the purple side and everyone's like, ooh, ah, and then she flips it over and everyone's like, ooh, ah. It just like,
This was like
the volume like doubled.
yeah. It's gorgeous.
It was so pretty.
yeah.
It's probably the prettiest
You
knitted
should
thing I've
knit
ever
that.
seen. It took her
Yeah.
3 months.
Yeah. Yeah, it was amazing. So that's
She said her first row took her an hour.
yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't think that's for me yet.
Yet.
I love that people said yet, right?
yeah.
Yet. I'll get there.
Yeah, one of the ladies when I was in line, I think it was this morning. It could have been this morning or yesterday morning. Pretty sure it was this morning. She's talking about how all these like she's happy that there's so many younger knitters that were at the retreat, but also that they have been knitting for not a very long time and they've knit so many different things. And there's another lady who is like kind of going into an explanation of the why of that, and that's because like she's like, well, we started with hats and we knit hats for a very long time when we started, and the lady that was the one who was talking about all these young knitters and being really proficient. And so the other lady said, well, we started with hats and they start with a shawl.
Yeah.
So there's all these extra skills that are learned in one thing.
In the very beginning.
Yeah, and the other thing is that we have access to something that the older generation didn't have access to. They have access to it now because it didn't exist before, and that's the internet.
Yeah, and YouTube. YouTube is great tutorials.
Massive, yeah. So, and Craftsy.
Yeah.
Like taking Craftsy classes and stuff. Those are amazing resources that we have as knitters to increase our knowledge and, you know, and make our craft better. And that just didn't exist before.
No.
So it's not even like,
It's not even comparable.
no, because it was
like-
definitely person to person
Yeah.
taught. And if
If you had
your
no one to
teacher-
teach you.
if you had no one to teach you, or your teacher only knew certain things, that's what you learned was those certain things, and it didn't go beyond that unless you, I guess, played.
Yeah.
Right? Or got books, or, you know, bought videos to learn.
How to do
You
it.
know, and finding books, the how-to books really would be the big thing. But then before that, it was just really sitting down and learning and
Yeah.
getting patterns and stuff.
And even the how-to books, right? Like when you YouTube something or look something up online, you get videos and you can see the stitches being done.
And I'm a visual learner, so like I learned a new bind off this weekend because I finished my lisle, which I was knitting, and I turned it into a dress.
Which bind off did you learn?
And it's called the bias bind off. And so in the pattern, it has this website that you're supposed to go to and look at and read how to do it. And I went and I read it, and it didn't make sense to me. So I left the room where everybody was knitting, and I went to my room for 5 minutes.
Yeah, you weren't gone for very long.
Sat down for 5 minutes. I watched a video on YouTube twice how to do it. Got it. Right? And I could have spent, half an hour reading this thing over and over and still being like, I can't see it.
I can't figure it out.
Figure it out. But I'm a visual person, so if I have somebody who can show me, then I can learn it really fast. And that's why if I see like a sweater or something in a certain stitch, and I go and I touch it and I look at it,
then you can figure out the
stitch.
Then
I can figure it out. I can figure out what kind of stitch it is, and I can figure out how it's attached, and and not everybody thinks that way either. Like it's definitely a different way of thinking, right? And that's one thing that we talked about in our class too, is that there are definitely different ways of thinking when it comes to, because some people will use a pattern, and that's perfectly fine, like, because we're all so different, and some people can read instructions and they're like, oh, simple, easy peasy, but we're all so different, and our learning styles are so different, so that's why I think it's like at something like this, if you're a visual learner, it's so good because you get to see all of the different samples of that thing and have somebody there to show you how to do what it is you're doing.
Yeah. And then
in the written form too.
Yeah, and then with somebody there too, right? If you don't get something or you're shown and you don't get it, they can walk you through it step by step, right? And see what you're doing wrong, how you're holding your needles, because often, it's like the same with the exercise or yoga, right? Mm-hmm. We think we're doing it and we're trying to do it, and we think our posture, our needles are being held right, or
and there's no wrong way to hold your needles.
No, there's no. But I mean, like you think you've got your stitch, your needle into the stitch in the right way.
Yeah, it's
right?
like when I went to my class 2 years ago and I was doing my yarn overs incorrectly and I was doing my purl stitches twisted. I had no idea. I thought I was on a roll. Like I thought I had
you had it.
Nope.
Yeah.
And having somebody there to say, okay, that doesn't look right. Show me what you're doing. Okay, how about try this? Well, okay, that worked. Perfect.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I know for me, we had somebody showing us, like in our class, we learned the provisional cast on. Yeah. We learned a lot of cast ons. And she showed us with her needles held straight up. So she had her needle held straight up and her crochet hook held straight up. And it was too awkward for me to actually do it. And I kept like dropping my yarn because it was going down this way. And it was just super awkward. And then I was sitting next to somebody who knows the provisional cast off really well. And she's like, I do it like this. And then she held her needles parallel to the ground. And then for me, I was like, and then I could totally do it. And it was totally fine because I could hold my yarn could rest on these fingers when I was going under. Yeah, so my yarn could rest on the my fingers while I was going underneath of the knitting needle to do my cast on. It was perfect. It was no longer awkward and it was easy and I got my tension right.
That's awesome.
It was so awesome. But the instructor showed it one way and it was like the correct way how to do it. But for me, just the way it was being held didn't work because I couldn't balance and manage and maneuver because I'm not a crocheter either. Yeah. And so I only ever use crochet hooks to fix my mistakes. Yeah. So crocheting's not intuitive to me.
Yeah. Did you see on the back of that, there was a police truck that just drove by and it says we're hiring on the back?
I didn't see that. That's awesome.
Grab it. Okay. We had an amazing time at Sorrento, and our next podcast is going to be at its regular scheduled time, hopefully. And I will show you all of the things that I've been working on and have finished. And is there anything you wanted to add in there, Sylla?
It was so great to be back podcasting and knitting.
Yeah.
It warmed my heart in a way that I didn't know. It felt like, I don't know how to explain it, but it felt like something had been missing from my life. And this weekend had literally just
found it.
filled it up, and like I found whatever was missing. And it was like this whole weekend was just pure joy.
Yeah,
it's the
my
only word I
tank
can
is full.
use, right? It was just
Yeah.
joy. There was laughter, it was just joy,
Yeah. Laughter and learning and friends.
right? And knitting
Yeah. and
all the
knitting.
time, everywhere.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So thank you so much for joining us. And I hope you enjoyed this very special episode with all of our special guests. And we just want to say,
Until next time. And then
Right? Yeah.
Carly gets the uncut.
Oh, this one's already recording.
Which one?
That one?
Do that to mine too. Show me
Oh.
your big toothy gray. Now do your backside.
look back here.
and I was like, where to look?
I know, hey, all right. Just look at the general direction.
Exactly.
Anything in my nose?
Should I be zooming mine in a little bit?
I don't know. If
No.
I wonder if we should tilt yours a little.
Mine?
Perfect with our heads right
mine?
Yeah, because it's like that
Oh,
glary.
it's too glary. Yeah. Okay, we'll change it. Then we get close up. Oh, you know what? What if I go this way? Will it complain at me?
Oh, that's high tech.
Did that change things?
I don't think so.
Don't you have a? What's your cover? Don't you have? Doesn't your cover have a
It
stand?
angles upward if it has a stand on it. I think that's a little better.
Okay,
Normally we have a tripod that we use.
ourselves?
Sure.
Okay.
Go left to right.
Are they all recording?
I'm Shannon.
I'm Marcia from Sockcetra.
I'm Glenda.
I'm Twitch, and this is Stitch.
And I just am somebody who just walked in. I'm not nobody.
This is our button.
Action.
So these bags are absolutely fabulous. They're made by Shannon of the Sockcetra, and they
Sockcetra what?
Sockcetra podcast. They are absolutely fantastic. The workmanship is top notch. They're really nice. When you feel them in the inside, they're fully lined with a really pretty pattern.
Ooh.
This one is all
Ah.
flowers, right? And they come in different designs, and they're beautiful. And my favorite feature right here is the double-ended drawstring that seals completely at the top. So you never have to worry about losing a knitting needle, losing any knitting, or getting anything caught in the zipper.
So what do you fit in there?
I've got 2 projects that fit in there right now.
Tell us more.
So you could fit a sweater in here. I don't know if you can or not. I've never knit a sweater. You can fit a baby sweater.
You can fit a
And they come. Look how beautiful the design is.
That
Like,
is a
it's
lovely one.
gorgeous. This one's polka dots, and it has a project in it. And this one here
The project as well.
Hold it up to your face so we can see what fabric looks best on you.
is the beautiful hearts. The heart's hound tooth blend.
Ooh.
You can knit your Valentine's
Then we have the green
Oh, with the red
Polka
hot
dots?
with chevron.
with red chevrons. It's beautiful and delicious,
Delicious.
right? You can just eat it.
I like the
I
word
don't recommend
scrumptious.
it, but you could.
Bite it.
Lick it.
Unless you're
and it's
allergic
soft
to
and
it.
gentle to the taste.
Is it
And
flavored?
wait for it. My favorite part.
potato free.
It's the magic of the bag. Wait, there's more. Ready?
But wait, there's more.
And there's more.
Ooh.
But still, look at that. No knitting lost. It's the the magic of the bag.
I'm actually really happy that you were in Kathy's class.
Yeah? Just because of what she taught, or?
Yeah, just because of her personality too.
Yeah.
Like, for your first class, knitting class 210, she's just a lot of fun.
She is a lot of
There's
fun.
a lot of information, but it's presented in a really fun way.
It is presented in a really fun way.
Yeah. Because Paulette and Miriam's classes, and I would think Janet's class are presented. They're still fun, but it's presented as a more like technical standpoint.
Yeah. So just 1 second. I just got a message come through.
For Mickey?
Yeah.
What's the message?
So okay, thanks. Did you turn left on the shoe shop Chase Crescent? I said, yes, we did.
Just now you said that?
Yeah, but she's not gonna get up there on it. So our last service, yes, we did.
You said sorry last service.
Yeah. But they probably won't respond because they're behind us.